Oh, the glare is back. It is sunny out in Toronto. TV Musing time. Fall TV preview, possibly, or I'd say actually just the most likely, and isn't it just the most anticipated new fall show, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yes, I did just kind of completely make up that graphic. I don't know if it represents anything. I was inspired by the images, and it may or may not have a closer. Oh, I would have done some different things. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, hey, it's Shannon, and I thought I'd share some thoughts on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the pilot episode which aired last night, and on CTV here in Canada. And spoiler warning for 1, the episode, and 2, the movie, The Avengers, from, when was it, 2012? It was called something else in UK, Avengers Assemble. Anyway, you guys know the movie I'm talking about, right? Anyway, so spoiler warning for The Avengers and spoiler warning for the pilot episode of The S.H.I.E.L.D. So, okay, first off, I just gotta say, I really liked it. I was really looking forward to it. Big fan so far. There was like 2 things I was like, and one Joss got me. It's like, of course, it's Joss. I should not worry about certain things. And then there was one other thing I'm like, really? But like minor, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Not going to harp on that. But in general, I just really liked it. It was a really fun show. Lots of action. Effects were amazing. It looked like a movie. Like it really did. We're getting really spoiled with TV in TV land because this was extremely high quality, in my opinion, in terms of effects and how sharp everything looked, and just amazing. I'm so thankful actually now that I watch stuff on through antenna because I get it HD. If I actually had cable, I would have an SD. Isn't that funny? So okay, it's got a pretty standard in terms of first episode. It's going to get the team together, but it's not getting the team back together because this is a new team, and it's actually everyone pretty much on the team doesn't really want to be on the team. So that's an interesting dynamic from, this guy Ward who doesn't want to be, he's a solo dude, he doesn't like to do group missions at all, to the desk retired Melinda, who is just driving the bus, as they say, and it's so funny because it's like when they're getting, and then Fitzsimmons, of course, love Fitzsimmons. One of my favorite things about the episode was Fitzsimmons, without question, just every time. Yes, I was like, this is awesome. So that was one of the big plus columns for me, and really enjoyed that. And so it's a smaller team, but then we also have, spoiler warning for The Avengers, Agent Coulson. And if you've seen any of the trailers, you know that he's in it. But I actually thought this meant it would predate The Avengers, but it is after The Avengers. And spoiler warning for The Avengers, he dies in The Avengers. And that's actually one of the things that I'm unsure about, because they do make note of it in this episode, and they do say that he died for a couple seconds or whatever, and he was in Tahiti, but it's not sure whether he was actually in Tahiti, or if he knew he was in Tahiti, or if other people think he was in Tahiti, or I don't understand what the Tahiti thing is. Obviously, there's lots of stuff, distraction stuff, and you don't, I don't know if it's a code word, I don't know if he was really there, I don't know if he was on the moon, or, I don't know. With this kind of show, you never know. So, but to be honest, that was one of the things I actually wasn't very happy about in a lot of ways. Not so much in terms of this episode. He's a great character and really charismatic, and you just love him, and that's a good thing. But the thing is, in the Avengers, when he dies, it's such a powerful moment that I think sort of having him here kind of doesn't super honor him as a character and his sacrifice, or, there. Now, Joss being Joss, I'm not too worried because I'm sure he knows that, and I'm sure that there's probably something in place to make that feel okay at some point. Who knows? Maybe Coulson's a clone, maybe it's his twin brother, maybe it's his past self regenerated into the future and come back to the present. I don't know, but it's, it's a science fiction series, so anything is possible, and it could, I would assume that it could be okay, but it did make me go, oh, and I wonder if the next time I watch the Avengers, if I won't feel that that moment is as powerful as it was. So I'll try and keep them separate entities because, it's a show and that was a movie, even though they are, dealing with some of the same things and they refer to some of the characters, so you can't totally disconnect them. But anyway, it's fun, it's Joss, I'm gonna, he's a mastermind, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it, but I think it does deserve notation. So anyway, and also that's the other thing that I like about it is actually it was quite clever. There were a couple times I was kind of like, I don't know about that, no, the tension's getting really, crazy here, and of course, something happens and it comes through and it's brilliant and it's wonderful, and you're like, oh, that's awesome! Which is one of the reasons why I love Josh shows. So anyway, one of the things that I also love about it is that I don't know where it's going. I'm not familiar with the storylines. I don't know if it's based on anything in particular, if it's following a comic or, stories or characters, or if it's doing something new. One thing I was very surprised about is it actually is following all humans. So far there was a superhero character in this episode. We have Michael, but he's sort of like the target. They're trying to, get to him. They're trying to help him. Two different people are trying to help him. The S.H.I.E.L.D. folk are helping him, and Skye, the conspiracy theorist, hacker extraordinaire woman, is, trying to get to him too. So there's sort of the mystery of, how he's become a superhero and stuff like that. So he's the superhero, but in terms of the team, as far as it seems, they're all human. They're human. They're not superheroes. So I wasn't expecting that. I thought this was going to be a superhero show, and they're all humans working for a government agency, actually trying to pacify the public and hide the truth of what's out there. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, that's kind of gutsy, but two, I'm like, I don't know how people will respond to that. How will people respond to hiding the truth as opposed to uncovering the truth? People are, especially people that are familiar with other, verses, you can't stop the signal, right? So it's like, they're trying to stop the signal. So I'm kind of like, how do I feel about that? Of course, it may morph and change over time, but a show that's actually conspiracy theory from the inside. One, haven't really seen that. Two, how will people feel about that? I'm not sure how I feel about that. Will it play the angle of we're in on the secret? That's one way to think about it. But people want to know the truth. So do people deserve to know the truth? Is the truth too much for them? Who gets to make those choices? Those are all great questions. So in a lot of ways, that's a lot of fun stuff to explore, along with the character dynamics and action and explosions and, rah, rah, rah. And we don't even we barely have a sense of who the villains are, and it looks like there could be multiple villains and stuff like that. So, I don't know. So, definitely engaging for sure. A lot of fun. Acting was great. Some really good chemistry. And it caught me a few times where I thought it was going one direction and it totally went somewhere else, and it totally made sense. And that's what I love. I don't like being tricked out, but I love when, things flip, but that means all the puzzle pieces fall into place, just not the places you thought they were. That's always genius writing, and I really appreciate that. So had some moments of that, so that was really good. So I definitely enjoyed Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., although I hate typing it all out, man. Those periods, S.H.I.E.L.D, or D. Oh my god, it just takes forever. But other than that, really enjoyed the show. I'll definitely keep watching. It's probably a show that I'll talk about over at Hexed with my sister Susie. I'll leave the link below if you want to check out our podcast. It goes up on Wednesdays. We'll probably talk about this one this week because I don't think she'll have seen this yet because it just aired last night. So I would love to know, are you watching S.H.I.E.L.D? Do you like it? Did you not watch it? Are you going to try it? Do you know the story? Is there a story? Am I missing something? I'm curious if it is based on something or if it will be new creations in terms of the story and character and stuff like that. But humans, who would have thought? I had no idea. And they're sort of going after, people with abilities. I wasn't expecting that. Although if I think back to like, other Marvel movies that have the shield, that's what they do. But are they the good guys? Are they not the good guys? I don't know. Filled with awesome questions, and that's always a great start for a season. So I enjoyed it. I haven't checked the ratings yet, but I'm sure I would be very surprised if they weren't very strong. So, this is the show that people have been waiting for, and I think it really delivered. So let me know. Are you watching? Do you like it? Let me know. Thanks for watching.